Help! I got lost and found a village that's full of monsters. This is an adult game for adults who are adult. Usual warnings apply. This is it. My first official quest is a full-fledged guild scrivener. I'm lucky it's a fairly simple quest. I just need to find a small village. The guild has been getting some strange reports where felines are trading goods with other vendors and traders. Now that doesn't sound bad on its own. I mean, felines have always been a partner of humans and Wyverians alike, but they never answer where they're from. We always just get a mix of signals here and there. The guild eventually concluded that it might be a feline hideout, and we should investigate it for their safety. We'd investigate the felines for their own safety? Is that... This sounds invasive, honestly. I mean, how hard is to find a single village? Since I'm just starting out, I'm glad our commander gave me a simple quest for now. Your first thought is, how am I supposed to do this? Thank God he gave me an easy quest. I feel like that's a little bit of a contradiction. I don't think tailing a monster is something they should give to someone new. Then again, we are scarce in human resources. Wait. Oh, because you're saying tailing a monster is something that we're not doing right now. Right. Huh? Getting dark already? I guess I did leave pretty late. It's a bad start to your entire journey here. I grabbed my bag and placed it on the ground near a tree. No use for looking for something when it's dark. Let's see. Aha! A sharp rock and some leaves. This should do nicely. Oh, they're starting a fire. Well, that's a neat little effect. I think I can see like the hard cutoff at the boundary of the gradient at the top, though. There we go. I guess I can try writing some things down. I'll eventually need to report this to the commander anyway. I like that we've accomplished absolutely nothing and it's immediately dark and we have to camp. Like, didn't even check what time of day it was. I think we might be working backwards from the premise of getting lost for the story to happen. It's a good thing I just got this notebook. This will help me keep track of things. Let's see. My name is... sure. Let's just leave it at Scrivener. Even though it's not really much of a name. Oop. Dude. My name is Dude. I am a Scrivener licensed to the guild. We Scriveners are a special set of hunters. I'm not going to get into that. But unlike the usual hunters who are tasked to hunt a monster, we are the ones who observe and relay the information. It is like a field researcher, but we mostly deliver anything that we notice is unusual to the guild and see what they will do. My own job has been added to the dictionary. I keep this on hand so I don't forget what I do. For my first job, I just need to find this feline hideout. We assumed it might be a village since wild felines don't usually use steel or string in their camps. I think it might be because it rusts too easily and they don't have enough resources to maintain it. But this hideout has enough resources to make them stable for trading. Does that mean it is a new village? I mean, it is our duty to protect them regardless, but I do hope there are no wild monsters nearby. It is rare when we actually do the hunting ourselves, but I can still take care of myself against a monster. Against a monster, huh? I placed my notebook back in the bag. I leaned my back on the tree with the soft bark as my headrest. Thinking about it now, I've never actually fought a large monster before. Yeah, there's some simple ones like Jaggies, Velocipraes, and Ludroths, but compared to my other classmates, I barely passed the exam. If it wasn't for the commander, I wouldn't have been a Scrivener, much less actually be a certified hunter. Without noticing it, I let out a pretty loud yawn. Am I this tired already? I doused the fire to make sure I stay hidden from any nearby monsters. It might get a bit cold, but that's better than getting my head eaten while I sleep. What? We're taking in a lot at once, obviously, because we're like most of it's narration about like what's going on with the setting and everything, and But I'm trying to remember if he took any actions that would involve a fire. I think he pulled out his journal, so maybe he wanted light for that. I'm trying to remember if he actually used the fire, because he went through the trouble of making a fire, but he's putting it out because he doesn't want to have a fire at night, because it puts him in danger, apparently. Which kind of just raises the question why he would make one. I gave another loud yawn as I get comfortable. I think I might just get some rest. It's not comfortable, but at least it's peaceful. I close my eyes as the gentle sounds of the forest lulls me. Crack? Huh? What was that? Yeah. Does sound like a feline? I better follow it. Dang it, it's getting too dark. Yeah. Wait, come back. For anyone missing the context, this is a Monster Hunter game, which is why they're saying felines and everything and spelling it that way. It's the cats from Monster Hunter. I can't see anything. Shit, I'm falling. I gotta... Oop. So there's a nameplate that says Scrivener no matter what. Even if you change your name to something else. Chapter 1, a monster village. Oh, I think it said, what do I do or something? It went on its own. Cold. Huh? My body feels very sore. I tried moving my arms, but it really hurts. I opened my eyes and... Fuck. The light. It hurts so much. That's it. I am becoming nocturnal. Yeah? You're awake? Huh? A feline? I am so relieved. How do you feel, Nya? Sore. I pulled myself up. Now I'm eye to eye with the feline. You frightened me. I was surprised when Meowster called me to the river at night. Then we saw you, just floating in the river. You were freezing. They're really putting fur into everything. I know they talk in the funny cat terms, but man, they're trying really hard to put the fur in each word. It was a good thing we got Mew blankets, Nya. Thank you so much. Sorry for the inconvenience. Don't mention it, Nya. My name is Dude. Nice to meet you, Nya. Nice to meet Nya, dude. So, where am I? Is this... You are in our village. We don't actually have a name yet. Everyone just can't come up with one. A nameless village, is this? Oh, right. I'm the housekeeper, Nya. I am actually my Meowster's housekeeper, and... Wait. You kept mentioning your master. Where are they, actually? Can I talk to them? Why would you want to talk to them? Well... I would like to thank them. I think you were saying earlier that your master found me in the river. I would at least like to thank them for saving me, if that would be okay. If you put it that way, then I'd call him. I hope this is not a mistake. Did you say something? Yeah, let me get Meowster for you. That's gonna be because they're anthro Monster Hunter monsters, and we're the Monster Hunters, so it's like, hang on a minute. And there he goes. Why does he sound so worried? I mean, I am just meeting another feline, right? Or maybe it was actually a Wyverian. It's not really rare for them to be elders. Sigh. I guess I got lucky, too. If the river didn't cushion my fall, I would have been dead by now. I looked at my bandaged arms and legs and tried to move them. Ugh. Still hurts. I hope this pain subsides soon. This technically... Oh, hello. I was gonna say this might technically count as another one of those My Wolf games where we wake up wounded in a bed at the beginning of a visual novel and then are introduced to this crazy new setting with all the beautiful husbands and stuff. Like, this might be the 10th one I've done. That's not an accurate count, but it's extremely funny how common it is for people to be wounded and wake up in a thing and so on. In fact, on Patreon, we're doing Raging Loop right now, which doesn't quite do that, but it does amusingly involve getting lost and falling in a river and then being brought into this strange society. But no, we do not wake up. We do not fall unconscious, then wake up in the bed of a love interest. Oh, that must be him. What the? What is a monster doing here? A monster, not just any monster, an elder dragon. I guess? I assume these are still normally monsters in this setting, right? Like in Monster Hunter, and they're not normally bipedal creatures wearing clothes. So I feel like my first instinct wouldn't be the same, just because not just because furry, but because I'm just like, it's clearly they're clearly people, right? Like they're not like, and they saved you already. So what do you? It's just a surprise, but this is a bit of a reaction. What the actual fuck? I knew this would happen. What do you mean you knew? It's the master, you fool. It's laughing. Meowster, you shouldn't laugh at the unfortunate, yeah? I just can't help it. It talks? Yeah, my ears. You know, dude, you're pretty loud for someone in pain. The feline rubbed his ears with his paws as the large monster gave him a pet. Wait. How? What? Are you some sort of new species of elder dragon? How do you recognize that he's an elder dragon, but when all of his features are different because he's a biped and everything? I'm trying to figure out. So I think the split in Monster Hunter is that basically everything in the entire game is called a wyvern, even if it doesn't match any description you've ever heard of a wyvern outside of Monster Hunter. So there's just like a wide variety of just like quadrupedal creatures that have no dragon-like traits, seemingly, that are called wyverns. And you're like, huh. But specifically, if I remember correctly, the wyverns that have wings on their front arms, so they just have 4 limbs. But the elder dragons always had 4 legs and then 2 wings separately from that, and so on. And that was like a split that they were surprisingly consistent about. But now that I'm saying that, I'm gonna get corrected probably, because whenever I try to talk about Monster Hunter at all, it brings out every pedant possible, and it gets really in the weeds really fast. But I don't know what he's latching onto here. But I also don't recognize what monster this is. And I've played World and Rise to the ends of both of their stories, and also like their DLCs in both cases. I guess Wilds is coming out soon, huh? I gotta get geared back up. He rubbed his chin and closed his eyes. I cannot say we are a new species. I think it is better to think of us as true Wyverians. A true Wyverian? Plot twist, they're called Wyverians because they're wyverns. Whoa, and not elves. There has been almost no record of how Wyverians came to be, and we only assumed it was because of the living conditions of our early ancestors. That is true. There hasn't been any surviving records, or even Wyverians, who can actually tell their origins. At best, we were only able to record their characteristics and attitude. But other than that, we concluded that they were really no different from us humans. Until now, that is. While some might view our existence as a curse, we are no different than you humans. Just girthier. Compared to the Wyverians you have met, our lifespan has been shortened. Shortened? You don't mean you don't live for hundreds of years? The elder sadly waved his head. A small frown formed on his face. We can live at most for 150 years, but I am not sure how long I will depart myself. Meowster, you still have a lot of years left with Nya. Oh ho ho, you think so, little one? The elder pats the head of the sulking feline, giving him a sort of forced smile. Then it is better we move on from this. Don't get me wrong. We appreciate the value of our life, so I do not have any complaints. This is a strange icebreaker conversation, talking about your mortality. Oh ho ho. Okay. Elder? You mentioned we and us earlier. How many more of you true Wyverians are there? I would say about 20 to 30. We are not a large village, young one. Now, what brought you to this forest? I doubt you jumped in the river in the middle of the night for a swim. And with your clothes on. Well, my name is Dude, and I'm a scrivener from the guild. Scrivener? You can't just throw myrrh in there. A scrivener. We are a special set of hunters that... Why do they... Oh, I am so sorry. Young Dude. Yes. Do I have your word that you will not harm us? I won't. I am dying, actually. I started flailing my arms, but suddenly my shoulders are starting to shake from the pain again. I moved back to a wall to lean on, panting. Oh. I thought we were in bed. I wiped the sweat from my forehead and tried to slow my breathing. Sorry, Elder. I promise I won't harm you, but I don't think I want to, even if I could. I doubt you can even lift a knife. The Elder gave a small sigh of relief. Very well, you can continue. Of course. Well, I pretty much gave them the rundown of my quest and how I ended up in the river. There was not really any questions, but I can tell that the Elder is starting to worry. And that's the gist of it. Yeah, I told our foragers to be more careful. Was bound to happen, little one. But Meowster, we already know the risk of sending out our family. Let us be relieved that our appearance still has not spread to the other towns. But I never thought the guild would be actually worried about us. Maybe they don't know about true Wyverians. I think you are correct. Given that everything about this interaction, the Elder eyed me up and down and gave a faint smile. I would like to ask you, young dude. Of course, Elder. As you can see, we are not the same as you, or normal Wyverians. Going out is a risk, and for every villager that does, they might not return alive. So I would like to request that you to keep our existence a secret. Because the possibility of hunters mistaking you for the actual monsters, right? He nods his head as if to confirm my words. This should be easily reconcilable. There's like a few things where it's like, one, you're a bipedal person wearing clothes that talks. It's kind of hard to mix you up with a T-Rex, a full-size regular T-Rex that runs around on all fours and roars and, let's be honest, usually attacks first. But also, like, I try to remember, like, isn't the lore with hunters that, like, they're not really meant to be, hunting things for the sake of it. They're not hunting for food exactly. I mean, they do eat the monsters, and Meowscular Chef works on all that, but, like, they, like, it's supposed to be about, like, maintaining the ecology. It's supposed to be, like, they specifically respect and cherish the overall ecosystem and are trying to preserve it and improve it and save it, which is why every single story is pretty much always about there's an elder dragon and it's mind controlling all of the monsters and making them go crazy. You've got to stop it. Oh no, it's setting a course straight for Count Chocula's lair, and you gotta stop him before he gets there. It's also what the plot of the movie was about. The 3D movie, the one that actually is a Monster Hunter movie, and not the one from the Resident Evil director, which didn't make sense on any level, really. It was kind of fun to watch, but why am I talking about this? I don't need to talk about this. I already talked about this. I made a video essay about that movie. Go watch my video essay. It's on my channel, Boring Keith. I made a whole video that talks about the Monster Hunter movie and then the other Monster Hunter movie that's better but not amazing, and that goes into all that. That was my second video essay after the Annihilation one, but before the Beastars one. But I already did that. Don't need to get into that. He nods his head to confirm my words. I see. Well, I cannot really condemn the ones that saved me. I will keep the information about you a secret from the guild. But I would like to ask something as well, Elder. It would condemn them? What is wrong with the Monster Hunter Guild? They don't strike me as people that would wipe out an entire race of, like, reptile people just because they happen to look kind of like the monsters. Like, that seems not like what things would happen. Like, the word condemn is implying that if people knew about these people, they'd be genocided immediately. And I'm like, Jesus! Imagining all of our happy little, plucky little, friendly shonen protagonists in all these video games, whoa! Being like, they must all die. Just immediately turning turbo racist and having to wipe them out. I'm like, that's not the tone of these video games. But I'd like to ask something as well, Elder. What would that be, young dude? I would actually like to stay in this village for a while. Oh. After your reaction earlier, I would have expected you to leave this place as soon as you can. Well, for my report for the guild? That's a bad answer. You literally just said you're not going to tell people about this place. Which means you're going to fail your first mission, by the way. I'm curious about your village. You mentioned everyone here is a true Wyverian. I got curious, so I want to know more about your village. What do you think, Meowster? We should give him a chance. However, if you ever harm a single soul in this village, you will regret it. Of course, Elder. As you know, I am wary of the safety of my family. Please do not make me regret this decision. Very well, young dude. You can stay here as much as you'd like. Oh, don't worry. I'm just gay. That's all that's happening here. I believe 2 weeks is good enough for me. How did you... Sure. You haven't seen anything and don't know the scale or haven't looked around. Just immediately just setting a timetable. Where will he stay, Nya? You can sleep here, young dude. This is my old home, and I think it is a nice place for you. The other houses are being used as storage, Nya. For people. We put people in them. Are you sure I can stay at your home, Elder? Do not worry, young dude. I've got a bigger one. The little one here will help you when you need anything. At your service, Nya. I am in your care then. For now, get some more rest. You can visit the village tomorrow, and I will let them know about your stay. Thank you so much, Elder. He gave a final nod and then left the room. You should get some more rest. Your body is still recovering, Nya. Thanks again. I might need some more sleep. After meeting your master, I might pass out. I understand. If you need anything, call me. Thank you. I laid back down and closed my eyes. The stress and body pains are getting to me again. I was able to drift to sleep in no time at all. Save often. Some choices cannot be rolled back, so be sure of your choices. I assume rolled back is in like pressing the back button to undo a message. I wonder if the skip settings are still... Yes, skip dialogue's still there, so you could always just start the game over and click skip, which is usually a very quick way to get back. So, so you don't actually need to save that often usually unless they're really, really long. That's it. I officially hate the sun. I didn't have to worry about this back in the city because our rooms have closed windows. So close the window. There's a blind right there. I can see it. Yeah, you're awake. I was watching you sleep. Good morning. Thank you for taking care of me yesterday. Of course, you are Meow guest now. Oh. It is not much, but here. He handed me a tray of breakfast. Gargwa eggs, rice, vegetables, and what looks like berry jam and bread. Morale, that is a hungry stomach. Stomach? That's me falling apart. I'm really grateful. I don't think I've eaten anything in the past 2 days. Help yourself. I'd be more surprised if you had eaten in the past 2 days, or the past day especially. It's like, As far as I know, I haven't eaten, unless you have the soup cloth. Thank you for the meal. Itadakimasu. So tasty. It's funny because I was at a family get-together and I was wearing a non-stop pup shirt from a con, and it says Itadakimasu on it. And it has the context of the entire front of the shirt being food. So I didn't think it'd be that complicated of a thing, but no one could parse what it said. No one could figure out what that meant, even in context, like what that word would mean. And I'm like, all right, some of you have been to Japan before. Damn, that really hits the spot. Glad you enjoyed it. That berry jam is something I have not tasted before. Sweet, but still has a refreshing taste. It is our specialty, nya. We cultivated our own wish berries. Wish berries? Oh, here, nya. He handed me a round berry, just the size of his paw. It has a rough texture, and soft as a pillow. Fascinating. This is what we use for trading to other towns. I think I remember seeing this berry before, but I always thought it was just a wild berry. Do you mind if I keep this? It's all yours, nya. Thanks. That's one of the... Yeah, I recognize the icon, I think. I feel like I had to use it often for something that I crafted, but I haven't played a Monster Hunter game in at least a year. I think I need to get some fresh air. I've been cramped in here for a bit too long for my taste. Can you move, nya? Yeah, I think I can. If I do feel any pains, I will be sure to get back here. Perfect! You should visit the farm as a start. That is where we grow the berries. The farm, huh? Well, let me get dressed and see it for myself. Thanks. Meow. I got up and picked up the clothes the housekeeper left for me. It is a little loose, but I think I can make do with this. Once I finished dressing myself, I got up and left. Hello. This is a menu? This is a save menu. Hello. Click. This is heavily customized. Oh, there we go. Oh, I can scroll over there and click on that. So here's where you would choose locations to go during parts where they allow you to wander around, probably. But for now, it's just going to be this. So we're new here. This is surreal. I walk around the village and I keep seeing monsters that are not monsters. I really don't know how to feel about this. Raytheon, Diablos, Rajang, Kutku. No, and those aren't even the hot ones. All monsters that are considered dangerous and known to destroy villages are doing human things? Everything is just so confusing and surprising. It is just like, it is just the furry isekai fantasy, but just in the Monster Hunter setting specifically. So it's just the furry versions of all those things. But where's the cool ones? Where's Tobakadachi? Where's Nagakuga? I'm getting weird stares. Granted, I am the only human here, but this is so embarrassing. I haven't been someone who is into the attention, especially when I am not really doing anything. I just lowered my head as I walked. Thinking about it now, I know it is possible in theory, but how do they reproduce? I mean, humans give birth by conceiving a baby, but monsters actually lay eggs. Does this mean they also lay eggs? By the... Ah! Hey, you okay, mate? A Rathalos. The Rathalos looks like he's just dressed like how hunters dress, which is funny. Because aren't they afraid of hunters? How does this cultural overlap happen, I wonder? I could be mistaken, though. Really, I just fixate on the fact that the hunters love to have low-cut tops and like crop jacket and vests that leave their midriff not exposed necessarily. It could be exposed, but it also might just be like showing the tight shirt beneath, and then lots of short shorts. Like everyone looks like they're wearing swim trunks or something. It aesthetically jumped out immediately, and I'm like, this scans as being about right. Ah, you hit your head or something. I don't know, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this voice to myself? The large wyvern eyes me up and down as he reached out his hand. You can tell I'm getting thrown a lot by the language because it's definitely it's either machine translated or it's English second language, but it's there's a lot of strangely phrased stuff and also just definitely not correct, not proofread or edited stuff. Like here, the tense changes from eyes me up to reached out his hand as he reached out his hand. So one of these part of the sentence is in past tense and part of it's in present tense, which, oh man, I had to catch myself so much. I'm halfway through November right now, making my own visual novel, and I have had to go over my own script so many times to catch any of it ever being in past tense by accident, because most writing, I feel like most fiction in like novels and whatnot, it's just usually written in the past tense. But visual novels specifically are very frequently written in the present tense, and it's really weird getting used to writing in the present tense in general. Maybe not. He helped me back up to my feet. His fingers feel rough, but somehow a bit smooth. Maybe it is the scales. I don't know how you can be rough and smooth at the same time. I unconsciously pressed his palm with my thumb, and it feels pretty much the same as a human hand, with the obvious exception that the other side has, well, scales on it. Scales being a smooth thing if you've ever picked up a snake or a lizard before. Holding hands already. You look so eager there. Are we dating now? What? I didn't even have to flex for you. Usually I would have to work hard for that. Sorry. I immediately let go of his hand and he flexed with it. If you really wanted, I could have just not said anything, right? That's not... I like you. You could call me Leo. What? Am I too breathtaking? They're so fucking horny. It's been 30 seconds. Leo flexed both his arms, showing off his muscles. No, I mean, nice to meet you, Leo. My name is Dude. That's a weird name. I'm a Scrivener from the guild. Scrivener? What's that? We are specialized a group of, I don't think it's safe for me to tell everyone I'm a hunter. I don't want to cause a panic again. Hey, you there? Spacing out on me. I'm fine. I mean, a Scrivener is like a researcher and I'm checking out your village. A researcher? I call that nerd dung. Nerd dung? It's something that Kokuki is bringing up. Like reading all about things and stuff. I guess you could say that. He seemed uninterested. I think the first couple of lines like vaguely went towards being Australian and the rest immediately went somewhere else completely, and I don't know how I even got there in the first place and I lost it and now I'm just here. You're still our guest here, so welcome. Thanks. Huh? Is something wrong, Leo? Keeps looking at me intently. What do I do? Push him away or look away and wait? I quickly avert my gaze and just stood there. There's no staring contest option. You can't just commit. So you're the human the Elder was talking about. There was doubt that I was? Not gonna lie, after taking a closer look, you actually seem pretty cute. I was only pretending to be kind of into it before. Whoa, don't start, we don't want you falling again. Sorry. Or, do you just want another excuse on touching me? Leo? Where were you? Hey, bro. Why do you look so tired already? What are you doing? The chief has been waiting for the supplies. The supply? Oh, I forgot. Knew it. Sorry, dude, but I gotta bounce. Which is what happens every time I take a step. I don't want to eat veggies for dinner. Oh yeah, bro. This is Dude, our human guest. What? Please entertain him for a bit. See ya. Wait. He's awkward. Look at his fucking hand gesture. Like, ooh. It's the awkward Zen ogre. This is awkward. No, yeah, no, I got that. I already said it. Hi. My name is Dude. I'm a scrivener from the guild. I'm Jin. Nice to meet you, Jin. What is a scrivener? We're like researchers for more dangerous missions. Dangerous? Well, this village is not really known by the guild, so it would be better if we investigate it. And you're a human, right? I hope so. Or else my parents got some explaining to do. He showed a small smile. What will you do now? I was just looking around mostly, but I can tell you have some sort of job? You and Leo are wearing something like uniforms. Yeah, me and Leo are both heavy workers. Heavy workers, huh? I looked over Jin's body and it's pretty much the same as Leo's. Muscular and thick. But unlike Leo, Jin looks a bit more chest heavy. Is there something on my chest? Nothing, just a whole lot of you. Yeah, you could keep looking. Huh? Nothing. I'm pretty sure that was not nothing. He looks pretty worried about what to say. Should I maybe just... Sorry. I just want to ask, am I not bothering you? Bothering me? Of course not. I'm just a little new to, you guys. What do you mean? The Elder says you're called true Wyverians? Oh. Yeah, I guess it's true that we are not really known a lot outside. Yeah. It's weird that you were surprised that I don't know what you guys are, if this is all of you, apparently. Yeah, but I do want to know more about your village. I am new to my job, and I want to know more about everything here. Doesn't it get a bit boring to see us lift wood? I've been here for like 5 seconds. Well, can I visit what you guys are working on right now, and I can judge for myself? Oh, sure, that would be fine. Follow me. I placed my right foot forward and followed him behind, but... hey, are you okay? My legs are still a bit shaky. I thought you tripped on his tail, but then I looked for a tail and I don't see a tail, so he might not have a tail? You think they'd have huge tails, because they're all Monster Hunter monsters. I've been tail whipped so many fucking times. Yeah, I think I remember the elder saying you fell off a cliff. And landed in cold water. Here. He crouched down with his back in front of me. You look too injured. Let me carry you at least. I'm gonna get carried, ooh. Are you sure? It's kind of embarrassing. I don't want to be a burden. Don't be. What? I was then lifted up and placed on the fanged wyvern's shoulder. We're specifically, yep, we're still sticking to the exact category of each creature. I get the reflex. It's funny to sit there and stick to those kind of categorizations here, especially if you're new at this, so you probably haven't even seen the real versions of these creatures that much anyway, but I guess they may be educated on it. But yeah, like when I have to write a story about furries, you constantly are like, the bear, the wolf, and so on, because you just want another thing to say besides just their name. You cycle through a bunch of different descriptions to keep the language from being repetitive. But something feels funny about specifying fanged wyvern when they're people. Let's go to the construction site. But you're light, don't worry. I think it's mainly, it might be made a little funnier by the fact that I think we specified fanged wyvern before we ever just pivoted to the obvious thing, which is saying Zen ogre, which is what Jin is. So we haven't actually been like the Zen ogre, which is what he, like that's the most obvious comparison. I bury my face in my hands while trying to avoid everyone's stares. Some just chuckled and some ignored me, but it was still very embarrassing. I guess I enjoyed it. Thanks. Jin was right. He was carrying me on his back without any signs of struggle. I am not really the lightest person, so I can't help but think how strong he and Leo must be. The walk was silent and quick as well, as he carried me over to the construction site, and he set me down on a tree stump. Once we arrived, we both see a familiar face. Hey, didn't expect you to come here. I wanted to visit the construction site, and I want to see what you guys are making. Oh, just making some houses for our other villagers. Besides our sizes, we kinda need more space to live comfortably. Or because of our sizes. Aren't you not used to humans? I find this interesting, but like it's kind of like when you talk about like their lifespans. There's often a reflex in stories like this to pivot immediately to comparing and contrasting the species of the things on the screen that you're encountering with like our human norms, which it makes sense to have that happen from the human's perspective, but it's always a little weird to me when stories like this have the characters that aren't human explain how not human they are by being like, yes, we are larger than humans and need bigger houses, and I'm like, don't you not, it sounded like you don't go outside, so you're not used to thinking about humans, so you wouldn't reflexively think about, yes, our houses are larger than your houses that I've presumably never seen because I live here and can't go outside and so on. And like how the other guys one of the first things the other guy said was like, ah, yes, we don't live as long as Wyverians, and you're like, this story started 30 seconds ago. I don't know what I barely know what a Wyverian is if I'm a new reader, just here that clicked here on itch.io for the sprites. And even if you do know what Wyverians are from Monster Hunter video games, I don't think your first reflex is to question the lifespans of these creatures based on Wyverians. That feels more like a thing that comes up as an aside 10 hours into the story, unless it's going to be immediately relevant, because I don't think either participant would reflexively think about that topic in their first conversation. Some of the other villages are still sharing their homes, so we would need to fix that. Then why are you using some of the houses for storage? Because the first thing you said about the houses is that you use them for storage, which sounds like what I joked storing people, haha, because that's what the houses are for. But now there's a housing shortage, so I'm like, why are the houses used for storage if they have a housing shortage and people are sharing homes because they don't have spaces to live? Yeah, it is hard for more than 3 of us in one house. I'd say your big boobs are already a handful. I mean, look at these. Leo flicked his finger on Jin's chest. It bounced. Stop doing that. It's not in front of our guest. The hell does that mean? Wait. Are they in a relationship? Is it rude to ask, actually? Maybe. You okay there? You look like you've been thinking a lot. Stop it. Are you two... Huh? You seem to get along really well. Are you... You know... Aren't brothers supposed to get along? But brothers? Yeah, he is my brother. We pretty much grew up together, so I can see him as my real brother. Real brother? You not understand the idea of people growing up it's fine. Yeah, but that's something we can talk about next time. Oh, alright, sorry to pry. Nah, you're good. Brothers, huh? I guess that's what Jem meant by real brother. What? This must be... I'm assuming that this is translated and that this is they're making specification about extremely specific language in a different language, and them specifying the clarified language just doesn't make sense in English because there's nothing to clarify. It just, like, the specifics of that nuance don't exist, and so you're better off just cutting the line, basically, in English. Is one of them adopted? I think I should take note and ask them about it later. Oi, you two! Uh-oh. Here he comes. Huh? Oh, that's a Rajang. Yep. He's got a slightly different look. Not that different. So they're all wearing the same shorts and the same vest, it looks like. Not quite, actually. It's interesting because it kind of my first reflex is to think that it's an inconsistency, like in a mistake sort of way, but it might be an inconsistency in an intentional kind of way, which is that none of their uniforms are consistent. They're not uniform. Particularly all of their shorts are identical, basically. But their belt and pouches look different, their shirts are all different colors, and the two on the right that have necklines have different necklines. And all three of their vests have different stitching, while giving the impression of being the same style of vest, which gives you the impression they're all handmade, which is a good detail if that's done on purpose and everything. Also, the mammal has a different shaped bulge than the reptiles for reasons that I'm not going to get into. The hell are you two doing? That poor feline over there has been carrying sacks upon sacks by themselves. Ooh. We all look over to the side to see a single feline carrying what feels like 10 times his own weight on their back by themselves. I think they're also about to pass out. Why does it look like that is how pyramids are built? What? Slavery? Okay. Listen, if you're gonna house elf the felines in the Monster Hunter universe, and you're going to like, if you're gonna like be like, yeah, there's just a subservient race that likes to hang out and make cat puns and cook for you and clean, and they help you on monster hunts, and there's just a thing in this setting, you maybe don't want to question it or could draw too much attention to it, and you definitely don't want to compare it to slavery, because you're like, oh Jesus, wait, damn. Because then it's just open. Now you're just thinking about it. You're like, oh wait, hang on a minute. Should I be concerned about the? Should I be concerned about these? Wait, hang on. Ooh, sorry, distracted. I think I've used that exact sweat drop from Google image searches before in my own things when I want to, as a joke, add a sweat drop to something in the anime sense. It's funny because there's so much of this that's hand-drawn, obviously, so it's funny that would be in here, because that definitely looks like it was added. I guess it's probably added by the programmer via looking up stuff online. The anger sign and the sweat drop are probably added by somebody besides the artist, and not drawn, because they do look like the stuff you would find if you image searched anime, like emotion reaction things. Sorry, Chief. We were just talking to our human guest here. Human. Ah, I remember the elder said someone is visiting. Let me introduce you. This is Dude. Dude, this is our village chief, Gerald. It's not the name I was waiting for. Nice to meet you, sir. I am a scrivener from our guild. Nice to meet you too, kid. Now, you two better do your jobs, or no dinner for tonight. Yes, sir. There they go. These boys are gonna be the end of me. Have they always been like this? For better or worse. I like the detail that they have their own custom nameplates that have their own unique style, like a full like logo sort of getup. Each one's like designed in a different style. Where their job or some part of their personality is built directly into the thing, although it seems to mostly just be jobs, basically. Just need to scare them a bit. My commander does the same thing to us every morning. If we're ever late, we won't be sleeping on a bed that night. Really now? That sounds pretty harsh. You humans are fucked up. Might try it on those two next time. Maybe you shouldn't. So what brought you here to this monster village? I kid. But I mean, look at us. Is it difficult looking like a monster? You get used to it. I'm getting thrown by how the people that just exist like this day to day are like, look at us, we're crazy, we're freaks, and constantly pointing out how weird and different they are. But you get used to it as a weird line when you're talking about the person you've presumably always been, unless you're about to reveal that people get transformed into monsters. But I thought that they were like the original Wyverian, so it sounds like they were always this way because they're they're like a breed into themselves. So you would think that they aren't becoming this. There's nothing to get used to. It's just who you always were. But then it does raise the question of how do they exist as a species? Does every individual monster like true Wyverian have to breed with other ones of the same kind? Because they already talked about having a population like 20 to 30, which seems like it's way too low for a sustainable gene pool. But then also their genes are insane. They're all completely different creatures. So it feels like there's only one of each creature total. So then you're like, hang on a minute. And at that point, you're just like, maybe we shouldn't be explaining the lore this much, because that encourages me to think about the lore, and I don't know if it's going to stand up. It does get a bit lonely out here, so that's why I scare those two for fun. I weirdly feel bad about those two now. So what did the village do to get the guild on our tails? Oh, I was sent to investigate the village. We thought this place might be a feline village, so we want to check if they are mostly safe and in a secure area. And if it also has more than just felines, we can probably set up a guild halt here to protect the village. Well, now that you've found us, what do you think? Well, it's nice. Everyone so far has been pretty nice. I guess I am comfortable here so far. More notably, I can't make any kind of judgment, given the context of what I was just talking about. He's basically calling for a more comprehensive assessment, but I've been here, once again, for 5 minutes. I've been in 2 rooms and talked to 3 people, so not ready to make that kind of call, but I don't know what this character's even qualified to do anyway. That's good. Does that mean you plan on moving in? What? Well, maybe a plan for the future. I still have my job after all. Ah, you're right. A Scrivener always needs to be moving to keep us safe. You know about Scriveners? Yeah, he certainly knows what it is. I never mentioned it after all. Yes, I know what they are. But do me a solid and let's not talk about it right now. I'd rather not let my boys hear our conversation. His boys? Oh, you mean Leo and Jin. Of course. We can talk about this some other time. Did something happen? Judging from the Rajang's face, I can tell it is something a bit more serious. Maybe it's best to not pry for now. But I am curious about something, sir. Must be something you can't explain if a Scrivener's asking. What is it? And please, call me Gerald. The only kids who call me sir are my workers. Okay, Gerald? I was wondering about, well, true Wyverians. Other than looking like actual monsters, I'm guessing it's something else. Yeah. Do you have any abilities, or somewhat similar to monsters, in terms of what they can do, I mean? I see what you mean. I'm a Rajang, so that means that I might have a strong body and can do electricity. Do electricity is a little bit of a funny way to put it. I'm sorry if it is offensive. Not at all, I'm actually flattered. From what I remember, it's a yes and a no. What do you mean? We are just normal Wyverians, basically, but our growth and appearance are based on the monster we are resembling. Example, as a Rajang, my muscle and body strength grows faster than Leo and Jin. Ah, but you cannot emit thunder elements or transform into a furious state. Bingo. Unless I stub my toe. Rajangs are normally aggressive creatures that have the ability to change their fur into a golden color when provoked. When they transform, they emit more electricity and their arms harden more than average steel. They're one of the more dangerous monsters that the guild needs to keep an eye on because they are more intelligent than other monsters. Because of this, only a few selected hunters are given permission to face this monster. But I guess normal Wyverians can't do that, can they? But that's only me. Some actually do have abilities. This world building is already out the window. It starts off by explaining, no, we're not like the monsters, we're just Wyverians. Well, I'm super jacked because I'm a Rajang, even though I just said we're not like the monsters. But obviously I can't do abilities, because like, we're just Wyverians. I just happen to have all the body traits of the monster, but not the elemental power, just the body traits. Oh, but other people do have the powers. You're like, okay. This is... Every clarification is an anti-clarification because it contradicts anything we've built so far, and we're still trying to start the explanation, essentially. Really? Yeah, I think it was only a handful, though. I see. Should I be worried about them? Nah, it's not like they will do anything to you. If anything happens to you, it would affect us more than you'd think. I see. Well, it's getting pretty late. I better finish here so we can stay on schedule. I think I should probably go back. Oh, you haven't recovered yet, right? How did you know? Pretty much saw you being supported by Jin earlier. And I did help the elder fish you out of the river. Oh, thank you so much for that. Don't mention it. I was more worried the water was poisoned and you died from it. Ha ha ha. Luckily, I didn't. Don't worry. I'll tell them you wanted to rest. Thanks, Gerald. Now, oi! Help out on a lot 2 over there. We are almost finished. Really reminds me of how I first met my commander. Always being so rough on us, but he really does care. Makes me wonder why he actually chose me to be here. No use thinking about it now. I stood up slowly, making sure I can stand up properly. It still pains me slightly, but I think I can walk again. I waved towards Leo and Jin to tell them I am going. They waved back and I went straight back to the Elder's house. We were here to observe, but we observed absolutely nothing about how they actually work. We just chatted with 3 different people and then left without watching it all. And it's not a very quick day. You can always have time skips, obviously, but since we had a consistent continuity pretty much from the moment we woke up to walking around to being back, it was like, oh, this was a 5-minute long day. It was a very quick day-night cycle. I sat down on the bed and sighed heavily. Yeah, they are all monsters. I still can't believe this. Yeah, you're home. How was the village, yeah? Still wrapping my head around it. Everyone looks like the monsters us guild members hunt and see as dangerous creatures. It's like seeing someone walk on water. I understand. When I first came here, my senses told me to turn tail and run. What made you stay? I mean, have you seen the tits on the guy? The villagers. The villagers. The villagers? They're always so happy and nice. It is very peaceful here, yeah? When my old hideout was attacked by monsters, we didn't know what to do about an attack. It happened so fast, yeah. Some of us found the village now. Some did not. Oh. I am so sorry for what happened. Many of our family stayed behind, yeah, so we can escape. This does happen a lot. Felines always find secluded and hidden places to survive since they are not at the strongest species. They are not at all the strongest species. To other monsters, felines are just another prey. We always hear these kinds of stories and events back at the guild, but I didn't expect it to be so. Yeah, but we're fine now. We decided to work here as thanks for the Elder for helping us before. That's really good to hear. I am happy for all of you. And they trained us on how to work. Now we are living better than before. And I am sure that everyone is all happy and living properly. Except for that, and I'm sure that everyone is all happy and living properly. Meow? It is a terrible thing that has happened, but I'm glad that they were able to move forward. Unfortunately, our world doesn't take kindly to those who give up. I'm glad they didn't. It's getting a bit late. I might retire for the night. Of course, yeah. I want to make sure you're okay after all. I will visit you again next morning. Sleep well, yeah? Good night, little one. He gave me another nod before he left the room. turning off the lights on the way out. Let me get comfortable. After being on my feet the entire day, this feels nice. I grabbed my blanket and covered myself before passing out. Everyone has a secret. Don't force yourself to know. What? Everyone has a secret as a... makes sense to establish, like, ooh, maybe you can find something out about people, but don't force yourself to know is wild phrasing. Huh. As opposed to like, but maybe it's best not to pry or something, I guess. Huh. Well, we can see where this is going. So you get to know the Bara Isekai Monster Hunter setting, and you probably can date some of the dudes, and then the story picks up. Technically, the day counter is wrong, because it doesn't count day 1 as being the day we actually spent here first, where we just we met the guild leader. So it counted. It said it only said day 1 yesterday, which was day 2, and now it says day 2 on day 3. But that's whatever, I guess. But yeah, I think this will be it for now. You can check out this game on itch.io. Sometimes people say they can't find the games that I mention in this series. I usually link it in the description, but in some cases I don't if there is any explicit nudity or anything like that in the store page itself. I'm like, well, can't link to that directly, and it's up to people to look it up themselves. And in some cases, adult stuff might only appear if you're logged in with an account that opts into that stuff, but I actually don't know for sure. All I know is that I've never had trouble finding any of the stuff that people say they have trouble finding for, so maybe people have just literally lost the ability to look things up anymore, but we'll find out. But you can check out this game on itch.io, and you can check out a whole lot of other Let's Tries of games, just dozens of them in the playlist in the description. So that'll be it for now, guys, and I'll see you next time.